Now we will go to another very important topic, that is curves on Argand diagram. Okay. Now the reason why I am discussing this separately is as follows. If you open the previous year's question papers of JEE Main or AIEEE or even JEE Advanced, you will often find examples on Argand diagram, but which require you to actually know the equations of conic sections. Okay, including a straight line. So I'm going to discuss the curves on the Argand diagram separately now. Okay. Now we are going to talk about the curves on the Argand diagram or on the Argand plane. Just to remind you, the Argand plane is our usual XY plane. The only difference is here we do not say that each point has two coordinates x and y. We say that this point represents the complex number x plus I y. Now, if you remember in the 11th standard, we have studied various conic sections, including straight line, okay, then circle, ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola. Okay. To get the equations of the ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola, we have used something that we call the focus directrix property. Okay, focus is any fixed point S and directrix is any fixed line D. Now, according to the focus directrix property, if P is any point on the locus or on the conic, then the distance of that point from the focus SP, okay, is equal to the eccentricity times the length of perpendicular drawn from that point to the directrix, which is a line. Okay, so we usually say SP equal to EPM, or SP is to PM is E is to Y. Okay, and based on this and the section formula, we come up with the standard equations of ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola. Just to remind you, for parabola the eccentricity is 1, for hyperbola the eccentricity is greater than 1, and for ellipse it is between 0 and 1. We usually take the eccentricity 0 if it is a circle. Okay, now all 5 curves can be represented, or their standard equations can be represented using complex numbers. Okay, or on the Argand plane or Argand diagram. So we are going to start with circle because that is the easiest among all of them. Let us now try to consider the following representation. Mod of z minus z naught equal to a. Now, what does this mean? Let us assume that our complex number z is x plus iy, which is a variable complex number. And let us also assume that z naught is a fixed complex number. Let's call it x naught plus I y naught. Now z minus z naught will be x minus x naught plus I into y minus y naught. Okay. Now if the modulus of this complex number is a, it means the square of its real part plus the square of its imaginary parts square root will be equal to a, yes, so if we square both the sides, we will get the following equation. So what does this represent? This represents a circle with center at the point x0 comma y0 and radius equal to a. Alright, so we have the equation as mod of z minus z0 equal to a. It actually represents a circle centered at the point x0 comma y0 or in the Argand plane, that point which represents the complex number x0 plus I y0, and the radius of this particular circle is equal to a. Now from this equation we can also conclude the following. If we have two complex numbers z1 and z2 on the Argand plane, then the distance between them is given by mod of z1 minus z2. Can also be given by mod of z2 minus z1. Okay, now this is basically our distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so just in case if someone asks you what's the formula for finding the distance between two complex numbers z1 and z2, see, now when I'm saying distance between two complex numbers, I actually mean how far the corresponding points are on the Argand plane. Okay, and that distance is simply mod of z1 minus z2 or mod of z2 minus z1. Let's now talk about the equations of the ellipse and hyperbola. Okay, if you remember, for ellipse, if P is any point and S1 and S2 are the foci of the ellipse, remember, unlike parabola, ellipse and hyperbola have two foci. Okay, now for an ellipse, the sum of the focal distances is always equal to the length of the major axis. Okay, so now we can make use of this fact in constructing the equation of the ellipse using or on the Argand plane. Okay, let us assume that the length of the major axis is 2a. Okay, the variable point P is represented by the complex number z, and the foci S1 and S2 are represented by the points z1 and z2. Now what is the distance between S1 and P? Just now we have talked about that. The distance is going to be mod of z minus z1, and then distance between S2 and P, mod of z minus z2. Okay, so this is equal to 2a, which is the equation of the ellipse using the complex numbers. Okay, then let's go to hyperbola. Now for hyperbola, if we have the variable point P on it and S1 and S2 as its foci, then the hyperbola has this property that the difference between the distances is a constant. Okay, the difference between the focal distances, it is a constant. So how can we convert this into the language of complex numbers? Let us use the same notation. So distance between z and z1 minus the distance between z and z2 is constant. So if you see such an equation, okay, then what will you conclude? You will conclude that the conic or the curve corresponding to such an equation on the Argand plane will be a hyperbola. Okay, so now we have talked about three equations. Equation of a circle, which is in the standard form, is this: mod of z minus z naught equal to a, where a is the radius and z naught is the center. What is the equation of the ellipse? Mod of z minus z1 plus mod of z minus z2 equal to constant, where z1 and z2 are the foci and the constant is the length of major axis of the ellipse. And for hyperbola it is z minus z1 or mod of z minus z1 minus mod of z minus z2 equal to constant. Again z1 and z2 are the foci of that particular hyperbola. Okay, now questions on parabola are rarely asked, so let's now talk about line. Let us first talk about lines which are parallel to coordinate axis. Let's now make a table consisting of two columns. In the first column, let me write down the equation in the Cartesian form. And in the second column, let me write down the equation in the complex form. Okay, let's talk about the equation of the x-axis, which is y equal to 0. So in the context of the complex numbers, it would mean the imaginary part of z equal to 0. Okay, so that means basically the real axis. If you now have x equal to 0, then this is the y-axis equation, which means the real part of the complex number is 0. Let's now talk about a line parallel to x-axis. Let's say y equal to alpha. So the imaginary part is a constant now, and the fourth possibility will be x equal to beta. So this is a vertical line now passing through the point 0 comma beta. So we will say real part of z is a constant which is equal to beta. Okay, so this is how we get the equations, or this is how we write the equations of lines which are parallel to the coordinate axis using the complex numbers. Okay, so the imaginary part of z equal to 0 on Argand diagram actually represents the x-axis. Same, real part equal to 0 on the Argand diagram actually represents the y-axis, and similarly you can interpret these two lines. Now let's talk about equation of a line with given slope. And passing through the given point. Okay, so let the point be x1 y1 and let the slope be m. Okay, now what is the equation of this line in the slope point form? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Okay, or we can say that y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is a constant, that is tan theta. Okay, where theta is the inclination. we have to now interpret this or obtain this or rewrite this in the context of the Argand diagram. So how are we going to do that? Suppose this is our real axis and this is our imaginary axis. Let us say this is the line which makes an angle theta with the positive direction of x-axis. Let's now consider let's now locate the fixed point. Let it be this purple point x1 comma y1, or let's not write the coordinates now. Let's say x1 plus I y1, and let this be the variable point x plus I y1. Okay, now if you subtract one point from the other, okay, so these are the radius vectors, so to speak. So if you wish to write down this particular, or if you wish to express the difference between x1 plus I y1 and x plus I y1, oh sorry, x plus I y, not x plus I y1, sorry, x plus I y, then that will actually give you this one, very much similar to vectors. Okay, and you can say that no matter what 2 points you take on the line, the inclination of the line is always going to be a constant. In other words, you can write the equation of this particular line in the language of complex number as argument of z minus z1 is a constant. Okay, because basically argument is theta. So if tan theta is a constant, so must be the theta, right? And what is that argument? Argument is basically the inclination which the line has with the x-axis. Okay, so this is the equation of the line passing through the point z1 and with constant, or this constant being equal to the inclination of the line. Okay.